Well, time now for a bit of culture. And growing up without his father in his life was a struggle for Nick Makoha. With no real role model to turn to for support and advice, he looked elsewhere. My Father and Other Superheroes is a one-man show written and performed by Nick, looking at how pop culture helped to raise him. Before we talk to him, let's have a quick look at what's to be expected. Well, Nick joins me live in the studio. Welcome to this day, Nick. Why did you decide to write a play about your childhood and the ways that you coped without a father figure in your life?
It kind of happened by accident. I'm a poet by nature, and I'd been hanging out with some writers at Stratford Theatre Royal, and we were doing this kind of program called Spoke Lab, where we were trying to fuse poetry with theatre, and we just had creative days every 2 weeks where we would meet up, and we would just do like workshops and materials coming out, and I would be telling them these stories, so we would just do exercise, and it would literally make Dawn Reed, the artistic director, and Roger Robinson, the dramaturg, like they'd be up in stitches and laughing and say, wow, that's so funny, you should put that together. And I didn't really consider doing a one-person show, but what they did is that they used to film me sometimes, and they would play the stuff back. I was like, oh, I get what the story is. And so, and also I was doing workshops in schools, and a lot of the children were having issues with their fathers or such like. And I thought maybe the best way to tackle this problem was actually to hold to light a story that could help them look at their life with their fathers and have a way to deal with that. So that's kind of how it got generated. So
how did you cope without having a father figure in your household? You talk about pop culture, but you know, My Father and the Superheroes, sorry, and Other Superheroes.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean? I mean, is this comic book culture? What is it?
Yeah, well, I mean, how I dealt with it, you know, when my father wasn't around, I used to live with my mother, and, you know, how I dealt with it is I kind of embraced, like you said, comics, and, you know, so Superman to me had more of a significance than just being a superhero. To me, you know, being from Uganda, I could relate to Superman in the sense that he was a person in exile as far as I was concerned, because his dad wasn't there. He was from another world. I felt like I was from another world, coming from Uganda, having to give up almost my language and speak in this language of English. So
what age were you when you came over here?
Came here when I was 4 years old, but you know, I'd moved back and forth, and so a lot of times I could identify with different TV personalities. You know, comics were really big for me, and, you know, father figures on TV were big for me. So, you know, like, you know, Will Smith, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, his uncle was like a kind of father figure to me. So it was these, you know, that's what I realized.
So you were looking for strong male roles in whatever shape or form they came, whether it be in reading material or on screen or
in, yeah, even
in everyday life.
Or in everyday life. And then as I kind of put these together, you know, we realized that there was kind of a story there, you know, and also it was to kind of give, ironically, you know, my dad is still, he's a hero in my life, and I had to accept that, but he's almost like heroes. They're always out there saving the world, you know, so it was that kind of realization that this great man that I admire, I could never actually access.
He was left in Uganda?
He moved around, so he was in Uganda, Kenya, he lived in Saudi Arabia for a while.
So it's in order to provide for the family?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of the play itself, it's touring at the moment, and
yes.
It's in Britain. So when did it open?
It opened in January. We've just started. We're doing the spring leg of the tour right now. There should be an autumn leg as well, and there's been a lot of interest also internationally, so we're hoping that it'll expand out.
And I understand you're a father, so how important has fatherhood, the role of fatherhood, been to you? More significant, would you say, because you didn't have a father in your life?
I mean, I think, yeah, I have 2 children. I think that the birth of my first child, Olivia, was part of the trigger for the show as well. I mean, when I held her in my arms, you know, I remember feeling this, like, well, obviously for my partner, but this really big swelling for my child, and it kind of made me understand that I had to kind of reconcile the issues I had with my father in order to kind of be a better father for my daughter.
And if people want to come and watch your show, which I believe is an hour-long, one-man performance,
yes.
Where can they find out about it?
So we're doing I like to give back, so we're doing a free show in Brent on Wednesday at 2:30 at Brent Civic Centre, and it should be in London, in Wimbledon at the Polka Theatre in March. We've got like 4 days there.
You got a website?
Website fathersuperhero.com shows you all the dates, or you can go directly to nickmakoha.com.
Okay, Nick, thanks so much for coming in. Best of luck with the show.
Pleasure.